Hi, I'm Kay Whitt with Serendipity Studio, and today we're going to be making a great crossbody bag. This bag is really sort of like a large pocket with a zipper. It can be worn crossbody or over the shoulder. It has an adjustable strap. It has a zipper closure, and that takes you into the whole inside of the bag. And then I've got these two great exterior pockets that are perfect for putting your phone, your sunglasses, whatever small items you have. This is a wonderful bag to take to a festival, a concert, just when you need your essentials, and it's a great gift item. So let's get started. One of my favorite things about this bag is that you only need 4 8 by 11 pieces of fabric. So you could use, again, choose from the fabric rainbow here, or use scraps from a project left over. I mean, really, the sky is the limit on that. With just a few fat quarters, you can make this bag. And a little bit of stabilizer. So let me show you the pieces. We have the exterior pieces. I've got 2, and they have been backed with a fusible fleece. And that just gives a little more body to the bag. It's still a soft bag when you're using it. Then we've got another 8 by 11 piece that has been folded in half, pressed and edge stitched. And I've marked down the center too, so I already know where I'll be stitching to divide this pocket into 2 parts. It will be layered along the bottom edge of this piece, and then we'll save this piece for later. Note also on this piece of lining that I have marked a rectangle. This will be my zipper opening, and we'll be stitching that in a few minutes. This is 2 inches down from the top, and then another 1/2 inch down, and then the ends are 1 inch in from the sides. And that gives me a 6 by 1/2 inch rectangle that will be my opening for the zipper. So we're going to go over to the machine and get busy stitching. The first thing I'm going to do is add my pocket to the front of the bag. I will be using just a really small 1/4 inch because the bag itself will have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I just want to catch the edge right now of the fabric. So we'll begin stitching. Let's do needle down here, and we'll turn our corner. You'll notice I'm sort of a maverick. I should probably pin this, but I try to get away with not pinning things when I think I can. And we'll turn that corner. All right, the pocket has been attached. The next thing that will happen is I've got a light marking down the middle of this pocket that I will stitch to divide the pocket into 2 parts. All right. Okay, so now my pocket's been divided into 2 parts. The next thing I'll be doing is taking this lining and adding it to the front, right sides together, and I will stitch on my marking. Let's do needle down and turn. All right, and we'll finish this up. Okay, now that my zipper opening has been stitched, the next thing I'm going to do is cut this opening open. So I'll just fold it and snip. Then I will cut almost to that corner. I'm going to snip close to my stitching without clipping through the stitching. All right, my opening has been slashed open. Now we'll go iron it. So, what I like to do before I turn it through the opening is give it just a quick press. And that gives me a smoother turn. So this opening gets, this lining gets turned through the opening. And we'll give it another press. I like to be sure that my lining is pressed really well so that I don't see any of it from the front side. And we're almost ready for that zipper. See how cute that is? And it's just so easy and quick. The front of our bag is almost done. So here's our lining side, and here's our front side. And we're ready to put a zipper on. Now, I've got to go to the machine and get my machine ready for the zipper foot. And now that we have the zipper foot on the machine, we'll go ahead and add the zipper. Notice my zipper is a whole lot longer than what I need. It doesn't really matter about the length of the zipper because we'll just cut off the extra that's not needed. So you could technically use a 9-inch zipper. I wouldn't go shorter than that, but that would be fine. So I've got it lined up along one end of my opening, and I'm going to slip it up under the machine and stitch around the finished edge to secure the zipper in place. All right. All right, we'll turn the corner, and this is where I'm going to hope that I don't break a needle. Going over the zipper. Okay, we're good. Yay. And we've almost got our zipper in. All right, the zipper has been installed from the back side. I'm going to cut off my extra, and I like to trim off this zipper tape too. All right, we're ready to go back to the table and add our tabs for the strap. So here is the completed front of the bag. The tabs, now today I'm choosing to use the poly belting. The only thing that you have to be careful about with poly belting is that you need to use a universal multi-purpose lighter with an open flame to seal the cut edges of the belting so that it doesn't fray when you're using the bag or when you're trying to stitch it. It's just really helpful. It doesn't take but just a little brief pass over those cut ends, and then the fraying will be in check. So along the top of my bag, I have marked in a 1/2 inch, and what I will do is line these tabs up and stitch those in place, and then we'll be ready to sew the exterior back to the front. So we'll go back to the machine now and change that foot back out to our regular sewing foot. Now we're back to our regular sewing foot. We can go ahead and add these tabs to the top part of the bag. And then I'm probably, no, actually I'm ready to do that. Now notice I'm going to fold the lining out of the way because the lining is going to be sewn independently of the exterior of the bag. So I'm lining up my first tab. And again, I'm going to use, about a 1/4 inch seam here. And be sure to back stitch really good. All right, that one is ready. All right, that one's attached. Now we're ready to add the exterior back. cut off some of those stray threads there. And here's our front. Now, you know, you just have to be really careful not to catch the lining. I prefer to not catch it and keep it independent of the exterior. But what's going to happen now is the exterior will be, sides will be sewn together. So I'm going to just put a few pins in to keep this from shifting while I'm sewing. I like to start at the lower edge where I know I'm leaving an opening so that I remember, because I've many times had to get the seam ripper out and create my opening because I forgot to leave it. So I will probably leave about an opening about that size so it'll be easy to turn the lining through. And we'll stitch all the way around. I'm coming up on that hardware. I'm going to have to be careful. I may have to lift my presser foot just to get past that bulk. All right. Again, keep that lining free. Last corner to turn. Okay, so our seam is complete. And now I'm going to add my lining pieces. So I've got my other lining. I'm going to do the same thing. This time I don't have to leave an opening because I have an opening in my exterior to turn through, so I can just zip all the way around this and I don't have any hardware to worry about. I can just go crazy. Let's see here. I also like to make my linings just a little bit smaller than the bag because I have to account for the bulk of the exterior seam. So I will probably use just a slightly bigger seam allowance here, maybe about a 5/8 to go around. So we'll get that done and then we'll be ready to trim and turn this bag, and it's almost finished. It's amazing how quickly this little bag goes together. All right, we're coming around the last side here. We'll back stitch. Okay, both seams are finished. The next thing we'll be doing is trimming corners. That reduces the bulk so that it turns nicely. And we'll be trimming these corners. These are the things I track all over my house. I have little bits of scraps like this that I just don't ever quite make to the trash can, and then I've got to clean the whole house. But I guess that's the life of somebody who sews, right? You have to be a little messy when you're being creative. All right, we'll trim this one the same way. It's a little bit hard to see since I used white thread on white stabilizer, but rest assured that seam is there. And last side. Okay, we're ready to turn. So we'll go back over to the ironing station. And I brought my handy little turning tool here to turn this bag. I like to give mine just a little bit of a steam to soften my stabilizer so that it turns easy. And let's see if I can get my hands in there and turn it. There we go. All right, getting there. So there's one corner, and you get the basic idea. Let's go to the finished bag. So here's our finished bag. I have pressed all the edges and turned the corners out, and that opening down here has been turned in and just edge stitched when I got ready to edge stitch the outside of the bag. The last thing that we have to do is to attach our adjustable strap with our swivel clasps, and we've got our adjustable buckle so that it can be worn over the shoulder or across the body, whatever makes you happy. This is the crossbody bag. Keep it in mind when you're looking for a quick bag or as a gift or for yourself.